We got to get back to doing what's expected of us as free citizens in this democracy. That means being tolerant, being respectful, staying informed, and being engaged. I'm former Congressman Joe Walsh. Follow me here and join the millions of Americans who are renewing their social contract with each other. The social contract, it's on us. When he lost, he resorted to crimes to try to overthrow the election result. When he lost, he resorted to crimes to try to overthrow the result. He resorted to crimes. Jack Smith's words, the Justice Department's words in the filing that went public yesterday, describing exactly what Donald Trump did after he lost the 2020 election. He resorted to crimes. I mean, the madness that we're here. I'm late this morning, by the way. TikTok. Hello, TikTok. I'm late this morning because I was just on ABC News and I wanted to scream. The madness of this. The madness that we're here. 4 years after a sitting American president lost an election and refused to accept that loss and then refused to concede. And then as this filing, this motion makes very clear, he then resorted to crimes. He then resorted to criminal activity to try to overthrow the result. Now, this filing is out today because, you know, the United States Supreme Court earlier in the summer said a president can commit crimes while he's president and he can't be prosecuted. He's got immunity. So Jack Smith then said, the Justice Department then said, we will refile our motion outlining his crimes, outlining our indictments against Donald Trump, working around whatever the Supreme Court said this summer. And if you're upset, if you think, as Trump thinks, that this is a political hit, like if you're more upset that the Justice Department put out today, Jack Smith put out yesterday, detailing the criminal activity that an American president committed trying to stay in office. If you're more upset at the messenger than you are at what the former president did, then you need to do some soul searching. But the only reason this is out now is because Donald Trump has delayed and delayed and delayed any action or movement on these indictments as long as he could. So look, this is on Trump that this is out now. But my God, every American should be upset, not at Jack Smith, at Donald Trump. We're here because of Donald Trump. He resorted to crimes to try to stay in power. If that doesn't fry you, no matter your politics, if that doesn't chap you, if that doesn't piss you off, then you need to, and I'll come right at you, everybody, you need to think about how much you love this country. You need to think about how much you love America. There's so much in this filing that details the criminal activity Trump engaged in, the fake electors, the pressuring of state election officials, the pressuring of Justice Department officials to engage in acts of corruption, the pressuring of members of Congress and members of his administration to engage in criminal activity to try to overthrow the result. It's all there. I think Trump's a traitor. I don't know how you can read this 165-page filing and not believe Donald Trump is a traitor. But I just want to highlight two examples in this filing that came out yesterday. So what? So what? Every Trump supporter, every MAGA, everybody who's going to vote for Donald Trump this November, those are words that Donald Trump said. So what? On January 6th, when Donald Trump was sitting in the White House and the riot was happening at the Capitol, and Trump administrative officials, Trump's people came up to him about a third of the way through the riot and said, Mr. President, they're going after Vice President Pence. They're trying to get Vice President Pence. Some of them are saying they want to hang Vice President Pence. His life may be in danger, sir. Can you tweet? Can you go on the TV right now and tell them to stand down because Vice President Pence's life may be in danger? And Donald Trump said, so what? His words, so what? Your vice president's life may be in danger, sir. And Trump said, so what? He said, so what? I'm voting Trump, says Stephen. Fine, Stephen. Trump, says Ruben. Fine, Ruben. I just want you to know, boys, who you're voting for. An utterly horrible human being. In this report, your vice president's life is in danger. Please tell the rioters to stand down. And Donald Trump said, so what? Another instance in this filing today that jumped out at me, sometime in late December of 2020, a couple weeks before January 6th, when Trump tried everything to overturn the election, when every legal challenge failed, when there really was, and all of his fake elector schemes and all the other illegal pressure he put on other people to overthrow the election result, when Trump's back was up against the wall and there was very little he could do in late December, he told the head of the Republican National Committee, the RNC, Ronna McDaniel, he told her to publicly make up a story about fraudulent voting machines in Michigan. He instructed the head of the RNC in late December to go public with a bullshit fraudulent story that the voting machines in Michigan were rigged. Every vote in Michigan was fraudulent. Ronna McDaniel said, I can't do that. But Ronna McDaniel called the head of the Republican Party in Michigan and asked him, boy, this is what the president's asking me to do. What do you think? And he said, that's fucking nuts. We can't put out lies like that. Just one example of what a sitting American president did to try to overthrow an American election. Lie. Damn it, head of the Republican Party, lie. I'm the president. I'm ordering you to lie. Remember when Trump said to Republican members of Congress in November or December, just go out and lie to your constituents. That's in this report as well. Donald Trump telling Jim Jordan and all the other Republicans in Congress, I'll take care. Trump says in this report, I'll take care of the Justice Department. I'll get them to do what they need to do. You just go out and lie to your constituents and tell them the election was stolen. I'll take care of all the rest. Your guy. Commie propaganda, John. Your guy. I'm still MAGA, your guy. Look, you got to live with it. You got to live with it. My hope is, and I'm heading out to another battleground state today to encourage Republicans to vote for Kamala Harris, and this will be front and center. Not about policy. Most of us Republicans who are voting for Kamala Harris disagree with Kamala Harris on the vast majority of policy. This isn't about policy. This is about our democracy. This is about stopping a traitor to this country. That's all this is about. And every Republican I speak with in battleground states around the country, they get it. They understand it. They disagree with Kamala Harris on plenty of policy. This is about stopping a traitor to this country. And a sitting president who would resort to criminal activity to try to overthrow an American election is a traitor. He's a traitor to this country. And you're willingly voting for him. You may, most of MAGA will. But I'm not going to let you escape the fact that you're voting for a traitor. You're voting for a guy. First of all, you're voting for a coward. He couldn't accept the election result. And then he resorted to crimes to try to overthrow the result. You're voting for a guy. You're voting for a guy. You know, I always love that when somebody like Rosemary says, hey, Joe, only 50 people are watching you right now. Rosemary, thanks for being one of those 50. Thank you, Rosemary. I always just love that. I'm not going to let you escape knowing who you're voting for. If and when he loses, a big reason why he will lose is because so many independents and Republicans couldn't vote for him because of this. Because he tried to overthrow an American election, because he wouldn't accept an American election result, because he's a threat to democracy, because he's a traitor. He's going to lose because of this. He's going to lose. And you're going to have to live with the fact that you voted for a traitor. You got to live with the fact that you voted for a guy who didn't give a damn that the life of his vice president was threatened. Forget about the crimes for a moment. Forget about the criminal activity that Trump committed trying to overthrow an election. Just settle on that for a moment. What kind of a person says that? What kind of a person says, so what? When that person finds out the life of his vice president is in danger. What kind of a human being says, so what? Hey, by the way, one other really, really important point that I want to put in front of everybody this Thursday. boop, back it up. Boop, 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 back it up. This is really important, MAGA, all my MAGA fans. This is really important. This isn't coming from Democrats. Please understand this. All the evidence, all the evidence in this filing against Donald Trump, alleging criminal activity that Trump committed trying to overthrow an American election, all the evidence in this filing, none of the evidence comes from Democrats. All of the evidence against Trump, the things he said, the things he did, all of the evidence against Trump comes from Republicans, comes from people who worked for Donald Trump, comes from Trump loyalists. They're the ones in these indictments who provided the evidence in sworn testimony under oath. They presented the evidence against Trump. They're the ones who said and did. Republicans are the ones who said and did, who said Trump said and did these bad things, these criminal things. People who loved Trump, people who worked for Trump, people who considered themselves Trump guys, Trump gals. They're the ones who provided the evidence to Jack Smith that Trump committed crimes. It's not Democrats. It's not the deep state. Democrats didn't provide any evidence against Trump that he committed crimes. Republicans did. These indictments, this filing, is full of Republican after Republican testifying under oath about what Trump said and did. Republicans did that. Trump loyalists provided this evidence, not Democrats. Don't ever forget that. And think about that, MAGA. Give it up, JW. You're pissing in the wind, says John. Think about that, John. Think about that. Trump's own people under oath gave Jack Smith the evidence that Trump committed crimes. So don't blame Democrats and don't blame the deep state. And by the way, again, Karen, a rule. There's a social contract rule. Karen, you cannot say I'm an idiot. Well, you can. It's a free country. You can't say I'm an idiot. I ask you, explain to me why I'm an idiot. Explain to me why I'm an idiot, because I'd like to begin a dialogue. Utter madness. Utter madness that 4 years after he did what he did, he's the nominee to be president again. He's the undisputed leader of the party. I get why. I know why. He's a cult leader and he's yours no matter what. He's yours. He's your leader. Even if he lies every time he opens his mouth, you're fine with it. He's your leader clearly, even if he commits crimes. I close with this, Keith. I'm closing, but I'm asking my MAGA brothers and sisters right now who are firing some of the ugliest stuff in the world about me at me right now. I ask you to think about this. He believes he can do anything Donald Trump does, and you all will support him. Ruben and Josh and Faith and all the rest of you. Donald Trump every day looks you in the eyes and he says, I can do whatever the fuck I want to do because these stupid people, those are his words, they're going to vote for me no matter what. Donald Trump says that every single day. I can commit crimes. I can overthrow an American election. I can lie my ass off. I can say whatever I want to say. I could kill somebody in the middle of New York City. But Trump's words, these stupid people will support me no matter what. I think you're better than that. I think you're better than that. I think that it bothers you that a sitting American president resorted to crimes to try to stay in power. I think that bothers you. I hope that bothers you. Thanks for listening, everybody. End this week strong. I'll be out there campaigning for Kamala Harris. Be with you again tomorrow. God bless. Be brave, everybody. Be brave.
Remember to listen, share, and follow The Social Contract with Joe Walsh on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and everywhere great podcasts are found. And be sure to leave a 5-star review. This has been The Social Contract with Joe Walsh.